Rolls-Royce is not a name we commonly associate with massive amounts of performance nowadays. But back in the day, they were doing some crazy stuff. Case in point, the Merlin V12, putting out over 2,000 horsepower in the 1930s. Originally created to power warplanes, the Merlin later made its way into some truly unique road-going monsters, and today we're going to tell you all about it. Before we get started, make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button, because we've got more videos coming your way. Born for War. Before talking about the performance potential of the Merlin, why don't we have a look at its backstory? What sparked the flame inside Rolls-Royce to come out with a beast of this magnitude? Well, it all has to do with the outburst of the First World War, as well as the foresight Rolls-Royce had in the early 1930s. The British company recognized the limitations of its existing 21-liter Kestrel engine, despite its massive success, and initiated a private venture to develop a larger, more powerful engine. This project was designated as PV12, short for Private Venture 12-cylinder, and was born from the realization that future aircraft would demand more power. Work started on this 1100 HP class engine in the early 30s, and the first test run was completed in October 1933. The PV-12 even took to the skies in a Hawker Hart biplane in 1935, initially designed with an evaporative cooling system. The PV-12 was later updated to use a more reliable liquid cooling system with ethylene glycol, showcasing Rolls-Royce's adaptability. The development of the Merlin coincided with the Air Ministry's F-1035 specification for high-speed fighter aircraft, and two iconic designs, the Supermarine Spitfire and the Hawker Hurricane, were being developed around the PV-12. These aircraft were designed to meet the demanding specifications and relied heavily on the PV-12's potential. And these military needs led to government funding and prioritized development for the PV-12, transforming it from a private venture to a critical national project. Following Rolls-Royce's tradition of naming their piston engines after birds of prey, the PV-12 was christened the Merlin, after the small falcon. This name would soon become synonymous with power, performance, and ultimately victory. Unmatched performance potential. You've got to trust us when we say that the performance potential of the Merlin V12 is truly out of this world. This engine was crucial to Britain's war effort as it powered not only the iconic Spitfire, but also the Hurricane, Lancaster, and Mosquito. Early Merlins like the Merlin III that powered Spitfires in the Battle of Britain came with 1,030 horsepower, and this was achieved through a series of innovations and refinements. The initial design of the Merlin had an evaporative cooling system, which was soon replaced by a more reliable liquid cooling system using ethylene glycol, a more efficient coolant. This change, while improving reliability, introduced a new vulnerability: the coolant system, especially the header tank, which became susceptible to enemy fire, and that posed a significant risk to pilots. The ethylene glycol itself was flammable, only adding to the danger. The Merlin also benefited from the development of 100-octane fuel, enabling it to generate more power. However, it lagged behind German engines in one key area: fuel injection. You see, while German engines used fuel injection for a precise fuel charge, the Merlin relied on a simple carburetor. This simplicity came at a cost. The Merlin would cut out under negative G forces, a significant disadvantage in combat. German pilots could exploit this by diving, forcing pursuing Spitfires to momentarily lose power. This issue was initially addressed by a clever maneuver developed by Spitfire pilots: a half roll before diving, and later by a crucial modification by Miss Tilly Schilling, which allowed the engine to function under short bursts of negative G. True negative G carburetors were not introduced until 1943. Further performance increases demanded more efficient heat transfer, and Rolls-Royce responded with a pressurized mixture of water and ethylene glycol, which not only improved cooling, but also reduced the fire risk of pure ethylene glycol. This innovation was first seen in the Merlin 12 and was made possible by Rolls-Royce's prior experience with pressurized cooling systems during the development of the Gulf Shock and early Merlin condenser systems. A key factor in the Merlin's increasing power output was the development of more sophisticated superchargers. These act like bellows, forcing more air into the engine for improved combustion. The introduction of a two-stage supercharger was a game changer, dramatically boosting the performance of later Merlin variants, such as those in the Spitfire Mk8 and 9. Interestingly, the Merlin had a smaller capacity of 27 liters compared to its German counterparts, such as the DB601, which had a 39-liter capacity, and the BMW 801, which had an incredible 42 liters. The fact that later Merlin-powered Spitfires outperformed these Luftwaffe aircraft is a testament to the ingenuity and continuous development behind the Merlin's design. So given the massive size and the sheer amount of power pushed out by the Merlin V12, you'd think that this engine would fit in any road-going machine. But it seems that some mad geniuses haven't got the memo, because over the years there have been many unique creations powered by this incredible engine. Want to have a look? Then keep watching, but don't forget to get subscribed before we start. Thunderbolt Dragster. The first creation we'll be taking a look at is the custom-built Rolls-Royce Boattails Speedster, nicknamed the Thunderbolt, which was powered by a variant of the Merlin V12 called the Meteor. This fire-breathing giant produces between 600 and 700 horsepower and over 1,600 pound-feet of torque, enough to literally shoot flames from its side exhausts. The Thunderbolt's construction was a labor of love that spanned from 2007 to 2013, with work taking place in both Finland and Florida under the guidance of J.B. Vandebunt, a name that perfectly complements the car's character. While it is badged as a Rolls-Royce, the Thunderbolt uses a 1920s Cadillac frame and suspension. But the engine, however, is undeniably Rolls-Royce. The coachwork is a stunning homage to the elegant Rolls-Royce boat tales of the past, capturing the spirit of a bygone era when automobiles were meticulously crafted works of art. The meticulously sculpted wooden boat tail is a prime example of this craftsmanship, a feature that showcases the dedication poured into its creation, with the roar of the V12 putting the cherry on top. The Beast. Paul Jameson got the mad idea of putting a Rolls-Royce V12 in a road car back in the 1960s, another Meteor tank engine to be precise. He built the chassis but never completed the body, selling it to John Dodd, an automatic transmission specialist. Dodd in turn commissioned a Ford Capri-inspired fiberglass body, creating the first iteration of the Beast. This monstrous machine with its Rolls-Royce grille and badging became a sensation at car shows across Europe in the 70s and 80s, even earning a spot in the Guinness Book of Records as the world's most powerful road car. The Beast's initial fame was tragically short-lived, as a devastating fire in Stockholm reduced the car to a smoldering wreck. Undeterred, Dodd rebuilt the Beast, but this time with a Merlin engine salvaged from a Boulton-Paul Balliol aircraft, replacing the original Meteor. He also opted for a new body style, a more practical two-door estate in beige, a stark contrast to the original dark red Capri-inspired design. The second version, dubbed the Mk2, also used a General Motors TH400 automatic transmission, adapted to the low-revving Merlin through a custom setup gearbox. Despite the Merlin being run without the supercharger, the power was estimated to still be around 950 bhp, with Dodd claiming a top speed of around 185 miles per hour. The Beast's Rolls-Royce connection ultimately led to legal trouble. Rolls-Royce took Dodd to court for unauthorized use of their trademarks. Dodd lost, and the iconic grille and Spirit of Ecstasy were replaced with a grille bearing his initials. He later moved to Spain, continuing to enjoy and showcase the Beast at car shows. Dodd's death in 2022 marked the end of an era for this unique machine, and in 2023 the Beast went up for auction in the UK. Remarkably, despite its radical modifications, it remained registered as a Rolls-Royce, MOT exempt, and ULIS compliant. Franco Sparrow's family dragster. Another Merlin-powered dragster was unveiled to the world at the 2001 Essen Motor Show in the form of Franco Sparrow's family dragster. Powered by the same monstrous 27.5-liter Merlin V12 engine found in other high-powered creations, this unique vehicle delivers a staggering 1,500 horsepower. Sparrow and his students designed the dragster with a family-friendly twist, with seating for the driver and 4 passengers. Unlike traditional dragsters, which are solo endeavors, the family dragster allows drivers to share the thrills, letting children, grandparents, and other family members experience the adrenaline rush. Despite its immense 9.5-meter length, 2.8-meter width, and nearly 5-ton weight, the Merlin engine provides enough power for true dragster-like acceleration. The Merlin in boat racing. The Merlin found its way out to the sea as well, as it was used in the high-octane world of unlimited hydroplane racing. In the mid-20th century, these powerful engines became a popular choice for racing boats due to their impressive power-to-weight ratio. Starting with the Miss Windsor in 1946, the Merlin quickly gained traction, competing fiercely with the Allison V1710. Several iconic hydroplanes were also powered by the Merlin, achieving remarkable success in prestigious races like the Gold Cup, with notable examples including the Slow Motion V, the first Merlin-powered boat to win the Gold Cup in 1954, and Miss Thriftway. The Merlin's dominance continued through the 1960s and 70s, powering champions like Hawaii Kai 3, Miss Bardhall, Miss Budweiser, and Atlas Van Lines, solidifying its place in hydroplane racing history. Eventually, both the Merlin and Allison engines were superseded by even more powerful gas turbines, but their legacy in the sport remains significant. The legacy continues. It's safe to say that the Merlin V12 has gained cult-like status since its heyday, and you can bet those loyal enthusiasts will go to mighty lengths to preserve its legacy for years to come. Want to learn more about more monstrous engines from the past? Then don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to our channel.